Welcome back to the RPG Real Paperback Geeks podcast. This is the Spider Cast special episode. All spoilers, by the way. There's no way we can hold back for this. We haven't talked about the film because there's literally no way we can hold back.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been like 2 weeks. If you haven't seen it yet, then fuck you.
Yeah, it's too late at this point. You've been warned. Big spoilers. Today with us, we got the whole crew. We had to get everybody for this one. We got Mav, Shiro, and Thor.
Yoko, let's go.
I'm excited. I'm sorry.
It's cool. Excited to hear your voice again. Happy New Year's, everybody.
So, yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. This really dates it. But, hey, man, remember when Far From Home happened? We thought it was going to be a Craven story at the end. Turned out it definitely wasn't going to be a Craven story at all.
Hey, but you got to give the nods that they did at least put a lot of the villains, or at least like silhouettes of villains towards the end of it.
It was great. Rhino, Craven.
Spectacular. Spider-Man, just everybody. Yeah. Hey, if it was a nod, it was a nod.
Dead Shocker.
Hold on.
What?
Bro, this man just got blipped out of existence to his old universe.
Bro. That's gonna come back.
It was crazy when they first did when Ned did the magic ring. That was insane. I was like,
bro, that
We'll get to the big reveals, bro. Oh my god.
Okay.
That adds so many layers of complexity.
Too soon, but it's okay.
I think it'd be good. I think a good jump-in spot would be where you wanted to go, Thorn, which was Spidey taking the whole spell that was contained away from Strange.
Yeah, that whole entire fight scene within the mirror dimension is actually pretty cool as far as like Spidey like recognizing like a lot of the like geometric features and shit like that. I'm a big mathematical nerd, so like please forgive me. I have big brain sometimes, and big brain go whoosh when I see geometric figures like that. But nonetheless, like, yeah, Spider-Man made a really good point about like whole mathematics and like being a part of the whole like sciencey thing, which kind of adds the whole layer of complexity that like, since Strange is a doctor, he understands all of that like kind of I guess mumbo jumbo of like the normal people like would kind of see it at that point. But like him being able to figure out like how to defeat Strange in his own exactly on the spot in his own mirror dimension at that point, and keep him trapped there for how long did he say? 12 hours over the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, he got stuck over the Grand Canyon.
12 hours.
Exactly. And then like reversing a little bit before that, when fucking you can actually see the spider sense above Peter. Like you can actually see the waves go above. So I really like that little nod that they did, like as he was being pushed out into the astral plane by Strange.
It's about time, bro.
Right? Yes. And like the whole idea of the Spidey sense kind of like not taking control of Peter's body, but like acting in tandem with him. Like he just naturally and instinctively knows like where the quote unquote danger, or where he feels the danger is at this point.
Well,
yeah, man.
The way I looked at it was like, you know, it's like you're looking at a spider from behind and you try to smack it, and it just instinctively moves out the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's basically
Exactly.
There's just that sixth sense of knowing of like, okay, no, there's a presence behind me and I don't know what it is, so let me like get out of harm's way, or at least what I think is harm's way at that point. I don't know, I just felt like it was a really good like kind of point of view to toss at the viewers who don't really know Spider-Man that well, like to see what the Spider sense can actually do without him actually being technically conscious or like within his body.
I think that was one of the best representations we've actually had of what Spider Sense does to Peter's body, like realistically, because I mean that's kind of the whole crux of his martial art that he makes in the comics, The Way of the Spider, is that he just kind of
Way of the Spider.
that he just kind of lets his Spider Sense do its thing, and he just trusts it fully. It's almost like Ultra Instinct.
In a sense, yeah, it's just really reminiscent of that, of it just like being in tune with like not only his body but with like I guess the environment around him at that point. Kind of just like how Shiro said with spiders, of like you put a spider in its web and you start messing around with the webs, it's either gonna one investigate what's going on or two try to scurry it along and like
watch.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, they did a great job. I know that this movie, it wasn't the original plan. Like, it's a little obvious, I think, that it wasn't the full original plan, but they did such a good job at taking fan criticism and adapting it to satisfy both all the Tom fans that were like hardcore defending the MCU's version of Spidey and all the fans that wanted to see him suffer.
Yeah, having a little bit of both. The loss of Aunt May, R.I.P. Aunt May for being the Uncle Ben in this episode or in this movie. But I mean, they had to drop the line. Like, there's no way in hell they were not going to do a trilogy for Spider-Man and not drop the line.
Yeah, because there was no Uncle Ben, so they had to do something.
Exactly, and just
for the new generation, they were like, Aunt May does die. Why not just kill her now?
True.
It's weird. I had like this moment when Civil War came out. I initially really dug that they were kind of bypassing the whole Uncle Ben thing, and that his version of it was, you know, when you can do what I can and you don't, and then the bad things happen. Like, I liked that, but they just, after Civil War, he felt like he regressed in his maturity as a hero, to me at least, right?
Well,
and I feel like a lot of people did.
Yeah, because I mean, they had the whole idea of like having the Avengers being like Earth's mightiest heroes at this point, just like how Peter puts it, and having them pretty much broken apart at this point. Tony's dead, Captain America is retired, Thor is completely lost all his mojo, and Hulk is kind of there in a sense as being fucking Banner Hulk, but.
Well, he's just a scientist now, so I mean, he's useful in some aspects, sciencey, I guess, but
I mean, as far as like physical capabilities of having Hulk back and stuff like that, that's like kind of the trade-off you get from it.
He's not really there anymore,
But and Thor, we won't really know what's gonna happen with Thor until Love and Thunder, you know.
But
he's always been.
He could work out and get his body back, you know. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
that's that point in
he's always
time.
been like off planet.
Yeah.
It's kind of on Peter at this point for like a good chunk of stuff. Him and Strange, realistically.
In a sense, yeah. Well,
and Shang-Chi.
Around this point in time was, I mean, I guess quote unquote timeline as how it is now. Is Shang-Chi happening around the same time that I guess the rest of the series are happening at this point? Because I know it's after.
I'm pretty sure.
It's after
I think this movie.
You think?
I'm pretty sure this movie is like the latest in the timeline.
Makes sense, because I mean, with Hawkeye series and everything else, because my brother's been watching that and kind of catching up on Loki and a couple of other things here and there. I do see the nods that they do end up doing, because it is around Christmas time, and around I think it was around Christmas time during the Hawkeye show, which happens to be around the same time that Spider-Man is happening, because in Hawkeye they do end up mentioning, or what's the new Black Widow's name?
Freaking Florence Pugh's character. Yeah.
I always forget her, the new Black Widow's like new name. Yeah, there we go. She ends up showing up in the show, and she actually ends up saying, it's just like, hey, I want to go and check out the new Statue of Liberty, and then what do you know? Spider-Man movie. It's in the movie. Exactly. You see the Spider-Man's or Captain America shield end up being placed.
She's just sitting there holding it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Cool kind of nod that they do end up doing between the series, which is coming out in tandem with the new movies and shit like that.
Dude, speaking of the Christmas theme, man, that fucking suit at the end looks so clean.
Dude, like, Spidey is finally making his own suit. It's actually getting back to the whole roots of like, alrighty, Spidey is a broke hero. He's doing this all on his own for the most part, and like he's just striving along. And like with the way that it ended, it kind of reboots the entirety of the MCU versions of Spider-Man at this point, because no one knows who Peter is.
Yeah, exactly. It legit looked like a suit from one of the old comic books, like Like an Ultimate Spider-Man, or what was it? The one with the shiny suit, and he's sticking on the side of a wall.
Are you talking about like the Todd McFarlane stuff?
Okay.
Yeah, the Todd McFarlane ones. The Todd McFarlane ones honestly look like the most like Andrew's suit, and I think Tom's suit is a good combo of like the shininess of the Ultimate Comics with a little bit of the OG stuff in there.
Yeah.
I personally love Andrew's suit, dude.
Andrew's suit's still my favorite, dude. Which,
and I think
dude,
that opening scene for Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably still one of the best.
Oh yeah,
intros. Like he's falling down, he's just fucking swinging around. And it's so clean looking, dude. Oh god,
dude. Don't get me started about the way that they were all moved. They were schmoving, bro. They were schmoving in the air.
When Andrew,
that was amazing.
When they opened the portal and it hit me, my girlfriend was sitting right next to me, and when she saw that, I was like, "It's fucking Andrew! It's fucking Andrew!" And they pops through. I fucking screamed, dude. Oh my god.
Let's go. Dude, fucking too reminiscent. It's too noticeable. How are you gonna be like, that's not Andrew? Like, everyone knew before stepping off.
Dude, seeing all their suits together, like it made it kind of hard for me, but I still think that Andrew's is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
they all
Andrew's pretty piece of the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta say, Raimi's suit is just better. I like Raimi's suit. It's
you know they added all those suits to the Spider-Man remaster PS4.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like they have the integrated suit. They have the Doctor Strange, where suits inside out, the black one. Yeah, they have that shit. They have the Amazing Spider-Man suit. They have the fucking Sam Raimi suit.
That's
they have all them suits on that game.
Dude, content after the fact like that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Insomniac cares, dude.
Yeah, they really do. But getting back to the movie, dude, like the whole entire like idea of like having all of the like the villains that know who Peter is, and honestly, there was a couple plot holes with like Electro and honestly with Venom as well, because at one point in time, well, Sandman, did he end up finding out? I feel like he did. No.
No, he never fully knew. All he knew was that. Oh wait, no, he did. That's right. At the end of Spider-Man 3, he did see his face.
Right.
Yeah, he knew.
That's right.
But yeah, with Venom,
what didn't make sense was Electro, because Electro never found out.
Yeah, that made no sense at all.
But I had a theory on with Venom just because like he ended up talking like, oh, I should probably talk to the Spider-Man. Maybe he knows a Peter in his universe. That's why in the first Venom movie, he was talking about the incident.
I have your answer right here, bro.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Let me get this. So he said, if you remember, right before he got dumped into the MCU, he was saying that like millions of years of like hive knowledge across universes would blow his tiny little brain, right? So think of, he said across universes, there was a universe in which Spider-Man had bonded to the symbiote. That was Toby's.
That's true.
So Toby's symbiote shares the hive mind with Tom Hardy's symbiote, so that's how he was aware. But Venom, in a different universe, was aware of who Peter Parker was and who Spider-Man was.
It's a very small, like, borderline throwaway line in Venom 2.
Yeah, I just now realized that when you just quoted that, I'm like, wait, hold on, universe. This is multiverse. Yep. Damn, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly why he got pulled in. Well, see, the thing is, and I was watching this other podcast, and it's brought up a good question. Where the fuck was MJ and like Gwen and everyone else that was?
Wait, hold on. You're gonna have fucking Gwen come out fucking back broken.
That's like a whole. Well, that's not necessarily true because Osborn, everyone that died came back. Right?
Yeah,
that's true.
Barbara and Gwen come back.
Very true. I mean, and then at that point,
also they're now, because of the success of that movie, they are pressing everybody, like all the actors, for like to reprise their roles for different shit. Like right now, they're trying to get Emma Stone to come back to be Spider-Gwen.
They want Andrew to come back for one. Everyone's trying to push for Andrew to come back for one more movie.
I heard that they're actually.
I'm
okay with that.
Yeah. Right. Wait, I heard Toby was actually going to be like, he's confirmed coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for other roles in the MCU, but we don't know yet if he's gonna get like another solo movie. I think
he is.
he is
That's
for
what
sure.
Really?
Yeah. What they were saying that they're saying that they're pushing for him to come back for another solo Spider-Man movie.
Oh hell yeah!
No way.
because and all the continuity that they had was straight from them. Like that wasn't
Right.
like how Andrew was saying, like, oh yeah, I got rageful, I got bitter, et cetera, et cetera. Like that was all of their own input. Like they had free reign to decide how their characters went after the fact.
Let's
It
go.
was
And,
the same thing with Tom. Tom fought for his character to end up back in like a shithole, basically.
I mean,
Yeah. So and same thing with Toby, like how he was saying, like how him and MJ worked it out and stuff. That was all his own idea, his own input, et cetera, et cetera. So like because of that, and it works so well, they can what's the word?
Use it.
Pick up where they left off in their own personal narrative for the character.
Yeah.
dang, that's fucking amazing. They can do. Wait, the whole divorce. Wait, the well, it's the comics, but that's different though.
Bro, I can't with the internet. Like, bro, y'all some fickle people, dude.
But
y'all saw Andrew like pour his heart out in a good Spider-Man movie, and instantly everyone fucking loves Andrew all of a sudden. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, bro, like what kind of shit?
You've known this. This is always my favorite.
Well,
we all
yeah.
like Andrew.
But the rest of the world, honestly, I always hear shit about Amazing Spider-Man series, and I'm like, no, what are you guys talking about? It's good. Just stop thinking about it as something else.
Why you give it a chance?
It's because people forget that even in the comics, like the very first like Amazing Fantasy comics, like Peter is kind of a dick sometimes. Like
He's snarky.
people forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not even that. Like I remember there was a panel, I think it's in Amazing Fantasy 15, where before he gets bitten by the spider, he literally says something along the lines of, the only people that matter to me in this world are like Aunt May and like my Uncle Ben. Everybody else can go to hell, essentially. Like he's been an asshole before in the comics.
Yeah, and like most people like to want to like oversee that kind of side of Peter, and I'm like dude, yeah, dude, he can be a little bitter sometimes, just like how it ends up happening.
Yeah,
He can be just like his mentor, Stark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which let's talk about that scene when they come to console Peter. Oh, dude.
Oh, bro, it was really hurtful. It was really.
They all
Only thing is that I would have thought that
movies.
they would have gotten in like another position other than the roof of the school.
Oh, that was
Right?
just a flex. That was a flex.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, bro, they're really fucking here. Take a look.
Bro, and the look that fucking Tom had is just like, yeah, I'm done with all this shit. Like, y'all need to go home.
Oh, that was great, and the fact that like every single one of them fulfilled like the role I hoped that each of their Peters would play. Like Andrew's kind of the middle brother that's like he's experienced but he's still kind of young and very emotional. Toby's is the very super experienced, like has been through all the shit and is just like, you
Has
don't
it all
want to
together.
like that.
Yeah.
Has it together now. And then Tom's just, starting out. Like that's exactly what I wanted because they pulled it off in Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm like, that's the gold standard right now.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what they need to do, and that's what they did.
I think they pulled it off better, honestly.
Yo,
It was
the little
amazing, spectacular, even. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
the little nod that they did with Andrew and Toby, it was just like about the whole like, oh yeah, you got the whole back thing going from when when he ends up losing his powers for a bit and kind of like lands on his back. Yeah.
Dude, they did a lot of great little callbacks. I laughed so fucking hard when they did the whole, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Oh, bro, please.
I got lucky. I got the morbid theater. So when Ned asked if Peter had a best friend, it was great.
Oh, yes.
He was like, "So Peter, you ever had a best friend?" He's like, "Yeah."
He died in my arms.
He tried to kill me, and then he died in my arms. It was very heartbreaking.
Oh.
The whole theater just busted out laughing. It was great.
Dude, that shit was hilarious.
Yo,
dude.
but to piggyback off that idea, Mav, dude, fucking Ned having like magic powers, like, or at least being a proficient enough to be able to do it without like any training whatsoever. Yeah,
that was great. I was like, hey, he's doing it the one way. Yeah, he just has to go back the other way to close it, but he's not. He's still just going.
Yeah.
The fact that he couldn't close it made me okay with the fact that he fell into being able to open one.
Right, exactly. Or like being able to like just magically or in like intuitively know kind of how to use it, like how when you use it to push back a lizard with the water.
A big nerds, yeah.
Yeah.
That was okay for me.
I wanted to touch back on the whole like Ned telling Peter like, oh, I'm not gonna become a supervillain and try to kill you.
That's Matt foreshadowing.
It's funny because he's actually the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, he is, dude.
No way.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
that's
the
comics.
Oh wait, he ends up becoming the Hobgoblin in the comics? No fucking way. No fucking way.
That's why they had him say that, because everyone who was aware that he's a Hobgoblin, like I don't know about your theater, but my theater thought it was funny as shit when he said that.
Yeah.
And it was because we were all aware of the fact that he becomes the Hobgoblin.
Just a few of us laughed. I laughed. My nephew laughed because I talk about Spider-Man with him all the time, and then maybe a couple people behind me laughed, but that was it. Nobody knew. I was like, oh.
I don't know if they'll do it.
Fucking noobs.
I don't think they'll do it, but
yeah, I mean,
he doesn't have Peter as an influence anymore.
Yeah,
he could very well become the Hobgoblin.
Yeah,
true.
They can reset all the characters to some extent. Yeah.
I'm wondering what they're going to be doing with
He's choosing not to interact with them now.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested on if they're going to be incorporating any kind of Oscorp stuff, just because it doesn't exist in this universe yet, or maybe later on, kind of like a starter-up company or some shit like that. But
I think it's a starter-up company at this point, because like even though Osborn said that Oscorp, there's no Oscorp in this universe, I think it exists. I think it's just in its infancy, probably.
Because like by the time
I don't think that they could do that though, honestly, because now he's aware of who Norman Osborn is and who he becomes and shit. So I feel like if they were to do an Oscorp kind of storyline, Peter would just be on it the entire time.
That could be interesting though too.
Well,
I think they should just leave that whole thing alone.
That's fair.
I still think they should have dumped him into the Venomverse. Personally,
you just wanted to be right, great. My guy. You just wanted to be right.
It was a sound theory, bro. It was a sound theory.
They did the opposite. They dumped Venom into the MCU instead.
Well, they dumped a piece of Venom into the MCU.
Yeah, which works.
So we're gonna have Venom in both the MCU and in Sony. So
which I think is okay.
I think it'll work out. Yeah,
it'll be great. It'll be like X-Men all over again.
We can have the more traditional like Spidey villain Venom for a bit in the MCU, while we have like the goofy Lethal Protector version in the Sony verse.
True.
Yo, do you know what they should have did with that post-credit scene with the Venom symbiote? And that guy's like, he didn't even pay his bill, and like it just shows like the little glob and it starts to move. You could just see this shit. Sparks it up.
That would have been pretty funny.
Bruh.
They would have pissed off everybody, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
What?
I would have been pissed.
Bro, I was super the entire movie. I went in, I don't know why. I think I was just ready to be an asshole. I went into the movie borderline like looking for them to make mistakes with some of the characters or like characterization of Peter, but dude, they avoided everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like
that was great.
The whole movie, I kept telling my girlfriend, like, somebody in the writer's room walked in, wrote on the whiteboard consequences in big letters, and said every plot point you want to do has to connect to that word.
Yeah. Just in every which way, it's just like any action that like Peter did, it always came down to like either something good or something bad. No in between. It always ended up in some kind of direction where it was either going to benefit him in some way, shape, or form, or cause him to learn something in like a very harsh way.
Which is Spider-Man to a T. Every time he does something right, it always is a detriment to Peter.
Yeah, or if anything that Peter does right, it always ends up becoming a detriment to Spider-Man.
Yep,
Exactly.
that's why.
Take the PS4 Spider-Man for a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He could have saved May at the expense of everyone else in the city. So he let May die so he could save everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you know, every good thing Spider-Man does is fuck off Peter.
Yep, it always messes Peter up.
And then was it just him really kind of coming to that realization at the end? It's just like, I think that's why he ended up telling Strange to have everyone forget who Peter is, because then at that point he doesn't need to worry about Peter, because then Peter is starting off with a fresh slate.
Yeah, which, oh, dude, I was wondering if in the trailers when he says the real problem is you're trying to live this double life, I was wondering if they were gonna like really deliver on that as an issue, and they fucking did.
They actually did.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Honestly, like it just, I don't know. I for some reason, like I had some kind of sense of relief of like them kind of resetting Peter at this point. So like it didn't like have that like that anxiousness of like, okay, everyone knows who Peter is. Like he just has some type of target on his back wherever he goes, or whenever like he ends up showing up in any way, place, like or form. Not only in the city, but like at this point, I guess around the world, because everyone knew who he was.
Yeah, everyone did. Oh, also, did you guys like that? This was a callback that I feel like a lot of people haven't talked about, which I wish they talked more about. The fact that Toby's the one that saves Norman from being pierced by his glider from Tom.
because he
That
got
was
pierced
insane.
Exactly.
So he's trying to stop it from happening again.
Dude, that was such a great, like, fucking little redemption for Toby that, like, nobody really thinks about, because it's like, you know, that was his own fault versus what happened with Andrew is, like, really sticks out, saving Gwen.
Yeah, a little redemption point for both of them. It's not just redeeming whatchamacallit, one of the Spider-Mans. It's redeeming all three of them at this point, because it's like, how was it at the end when they're disappearing? It's just like, it's just what we do.
Oh, so good, man. I was like, that's all they needed to say, and I was like, yep, it's what they do, man.
When Doc Ock showed up at the end, when I thought he was a bad guy at first, low key, I was like, oh no, they're
For
fucked.
a second I did, and then I saw that his arms didn't have the red light, and I was like, oh no.
No, he's still good.
Playing him right now.
Yeah. But
Oh man.
I actually had an idea of all of them go back already depowered back to their own universe at this point. Would that mean that their own universes that they go to end up getting splintered?
Don't know,
Yeah.
actually.
It would. It would just make different timelines.
They should, but I don't know if they're ever gonna. I don't know how much they'll address it, is all I'll say.
True. And then like getting to, because I know we're jumping around and shit, but like getting to the actual end credit scene, dude. Yeah, we were right. Gorath ends up showing up at the end of it with that with the Multiverse of Madness trailer. Wanda ends up showing up. Like
That's actually not Shuma.
it's not true. It looks so much like him.
Are you
That's
serious?
that's some dude named Barbados or Barbados or something like that. He's what the hell is his name? No, oh my god, I forget what his name is, but he's one of Namor's villains.
Oh, so he's an underwater kind of like sea serpent, like not sea serpent, but like water sea star.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Because dude, he looked exactly like Shuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I thought it was Shuma, but
It's not?
Like literally everything is pointing to it being the other guy.
That'd be sick, because they've been talking about bringing Namor in for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like 100% positive that Shuma's gonna show up.
Without a doubt.
yeah.
Because I mean, Evil Strange shows up at the end, so I would think so. Because Evil Strange is already tackled with Schumer, so why wouldn't?
Do we think that's the same Strange from What If is the big question, though.
I think so. It's some version. Maybe it's the version that actually ends up bringing whatchamacallit, what's her face back from the dead, and
Oh, Rachel. Yeah.
So it ends up being that like he ends up getting everything he wants, but he ends up keeping his evil powers at this point. Now that he has that, he's able to jump between multiple dimensions because he knows and understands a little bit more of the multiverse than this version of Strange does.
I'm curious because this one, at least initially in the trailer, it could just be because they only showed him laughing, but he seems more like actually evil than like Supreme Strange from What If.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know yet.
No.
I'm borderline.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, like how when Wanda ends up seeing Strange and she immediately wants to confess everything that happened during like WandaVision and stuff like that, I'm just like, she might be hiding some things that we didn't end up seeing in the show.
I think so. There's for sure like a time gap.
Yeah. How big the time gap? Who knows? And then the location that she's at, is it the location that she ends up staying at the end of WandaVision, or is it a different location?
I think it's the same one.
Oh.
Because she's wearing the same clothes.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's the same one. Oh, but yeah. Oh my god, dude. Seeing all three of them together, going back to the movie, was so satisfying. They touched on everything I hoped they would. They even addressed the fact that Toby's the only one that doesn't have web shooters.
Yo, I don't want to make this weird.
Have you ever had a web block? A web block. He was like, oh yeah, now that you think about it.
Or how they end up mentioning it's just
some
like
existential crisis thing.
Yeah, or how they end up mentioning that both Toby and Tom have fought aliens and Andrew hasn't.
Yeah, oh man, dude, they did so much
He's
work.
all like, I'm lame.
They did so much work for people to be like, no man, like Andrew's awesome. Like even like if you won't admit it, we'll have Toby say it.
Exactly.
That was so great.
But yeah, start to finish, dude, this movie's like kept my eyes on screen, and honestly, like I don't know, it just did something in my head that just made everything go through dopamine, serotonin just surge all over the fucking place.
Yeah, man, like it was I still don't know. I don't know exactly where it ranks for me yet. It's really close to Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2 overall. I gotta watch them all back to back for me to know for sure, but it potentially is my favorite just because they got all the characterization of the old OG ones right. They finally matured up Tom and let him actually act. And the fights in this are as brutal as they've been since Spider-Man 2.
Exactly, yeah, they did not pull any punches for these fight scenes. Like, honestly, they literally let them go ham. All three of them, like, literally let out anything that they would have needed to at this point.
Yeah.
Especially after they were bumping into each other, and then they're like, alright, here.
Yeah.
Group meeting, spider meeting. They're like, hey, trust your spider sense, let's do this. And then they got back out there, and then they started whipping off each other and everything. That was
great.
It was beautiful. It was just gorgeous. It was
all the Goblin fights were so gritty and brutal too. Like, dude, I've wanted to see live action Spider-Man fight like that uniquely for a long time. And
honestly, yeah, dude, they actually let loose with the fucking, like, the techniques that all this, like, that they just built up over the years at this point. Like, just having the powers and going through it all. Like, they were able to kind of show it off more and more. Which I'm kind of surprised, because they normally do a lot of jump cuts when it comes to, like, that type of fighting.
Well, I think they finally realized, like, alright, Willem Dafoe wanted to do his own stunts. Tom is literally a gymnast. Let's let Tom actually do what he's trained to do.
Yes. Get natural talents and just have them
focus
explode.
On the other two.
Yeah. Which, getting rid of that mask, dude, for Willem Dafoe, they finally listened. They just let him use his face.
Yeah. He just knows how to, like, just scrunch up perfect portions of his body to have it seem that he's just crazy and shit like that. It just works so fucking well. Yes! Yes! He has that crazy look, dude!
Yeah, that was awesome.
Do you know how much I've sacrificed?
But
I know everyone's got some New Year's stuff. Final thoughts from everyone?
The movie's the shit.
yeah,
it was the best movie I've ever fucking seen in a long time. Besides Endgame, Endgame is amazing. I love that.
honestly,
I honestly think Infinity War is better than Endgame.
Yeah,
really,
it's a toss up for me, Loki. But
Depends on the day.
it depends on
yeah,
the
depends on the day. Depends on whether I want to be happy or sad.
I don't know. I feel like Endgame was much more of like a cinematic like end to an opera, while like this is gonna be like starting up like a new like chapter within like the MCU at this point, or even just for Spider-Man like alone for the city of New York. So I mean, this movie just hits in a different way that what Endgame did as far as concluding that arc of the MCU at this point.
Watching this movie was like opening up Deadpool, kills the entire Marvel universe for the first time, and reading that thing from front to cover for the first time. That's what that movie was like. It was amazing.
It was just gold, bro. It was literally just fucking gold.
Where does this rank for you guys?
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10. Ooh, my boy get it.
Out of all the Spider-Man films, I mean, where does it rank for you guys?
Oh,
It ranks at this level for me.
Honestly, yeah. This is my
ranks at that
favorite.
level for me right now.
This is my favorite Spider-Man movie at this point.
Between this and Into the Spider-Verse right now for me, it's really, really close.
Oof. Like, but don't worry, we're gonna get Across the Spider-Verse now.
Dude, Across the Spider-Verse got some big legs to work with right now. Ooh.
But they're animated, so they can do it. Oh, that's the problem.
They can. But this was such a fulfillment of 20 years of us loving Spider-Man films. It's hard.
It just accumulates everything as far as just how we were introduced to Spider-Man to the really kind of dark ages of superhero movies, that weird point in time, and then the rise back up into it. It just it just melts everything just so fucking well, dude. It just works. Mucho chefs.
All right, Shiro, you want to do the outro for us, my guy?
No.
No. You know what? Since it's gonna be my birthday tomorrow, I'll go ahead and do it this time.
Ooh.
Alrighty. This is gonna be the last of this year, 2021's RPG Review Paperback Geeks podcast. And don't worry, we will be here for next year. It's your boy Thorn here. We have Short Round.
What's up?
We have Shiro.
What's up?
And we have Maverick.
I'll catch you guys later.
And we had one more time of all the cameras being misplaced by Discord.
Let's go! Bring it in! 2022!
He's down here.
Nah, bro, they're all in the different spot for me.
Angles and numbers and stuff.
Have a good night and Happy New Year's.
Later, guys.